Alright, this is Sue's 11 Tarot. I asked Spirit what readings we're going to do today. Looks like Cancer and Libra. I already did a shorts video. It was for singles, but there's a situationship going on. Not your problem, though. Okay, so it's for me to solve. Okay, but anyway, went ahead and picked. I'm brewing up some coffee here. And we're starting with Cancer. Okay. I'm eating some cucumbers. Okay, we're starting with Cancer. Well, but what's interesting is Cancer is trying to bring in some balance in his or her life. This is for that person. And if everything's hunky-dory, this isn't your reading. This is for someone who's trying to find balance and stability and get past through some sort of fear here that popped up. Okay. So if things are great, you probably don't want to be here. Okay. My coffee's almost done. Okay. So, the first card out was Pranayama. Okay. And what I got with that was breath work is not came up in another reading. I think it was, so you might resonate with some Leo readings and Aquarius readings. Because as I was reading these cards, I was picking up Leo and Aquarius energy. Okay, so if you, well, Cancer does cusp the Leo, but anyway, that's what I was picking up because I'll tell you why. Anyway, when I get there, I'll tell you. Okay, but, okay, so pranayama for the throat chakra, especially if you speak in front of public. The suggestion was do pranayama for the throat chakra. And those are all on YouTube. Do breathing exercises, quiet meditation like this dude right here. Okay. And this is looking into the depth of your soul. Alright. Alright, so the other thing was try if someone has like one side congested, it's like try the alternate breathing technique, pranayama. Okay. And also we're in Sagittarius moon, and so that's the liver. So you probably don't want to be drinking during this time. Okay. That's what I'm getting. Okay. It's probably not a good idea because that would fall into escapism. All right. We're trying to solve situations. Okay. All right. So here we go. So breath work, I feel like, even through, okay. You know what they're showing me? It's like when someone's pregnant, right? And they breathe through when they're birthing something. So especially if you're trying to breathe life to a new career, a new startup, a new anything. If you're doing something different that's new that you're trying to birth because you have this Mars and Cancer, okay? They're suggesting here that you can birth it. You know how when people have babies and they breathe through it until the baby comes out? It's like that, okay? And so for some of you, I feel like this aquamarine energy might be soothing to you. So you might wear either green, aquamarine. I feel like red would be too much, especially with Mars. But it may give you power, like over here in this Durga energy. Okay, so just kind of feel your own energy and then choose I feel like what it's calling for is soothing energy. So it's like anytime you get in a stressful situation when someone's coming to you with all this stuff, just breathe through it. Okay, that's what I'm getting. Okay. And that, okay, so I get it. Okay. So I'm looking at this and it's like the Aquarius energy was like, there was one reading where it was like the referee. Okay. So this is Atman, which is the next, would be like the next phase, which I thought it was fascinating that it came up in your reading. Okay. But the polar opposite energy of Aquarius is Leo. So that could be mind stuff or subconscious, even deep, deep. Okay. So if you want to understand your psyche, the best way is to meditate. But if you seem like you're not getting anywhere with that, you might go look at Aquarius, and that might help you understand your mind a little bit more. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, and not even just Aquarius. So your polar opposite would be Capricorn. So anyway, if you've had some challenges with that Pluto, because it was in Aquarius and then I think it returned to Capricorn, those are the lessons, right, that come along with some of that challenging energy. So if you had that, then you might want to go look at that. It might help you explain things to you in your life a little bit better. Okay. All right, now, um, so this Durga energy, okay, I love it. Okay, this Durga energy came to me through a meditation one time, a long time ago, and it came at the right time. It was like I was going through some stuff, and I really needed this energy. It was like an extra toolbox, okay, in my spiritual challenges that I was going through. Okay. But when we're talking about Indian deities, a lot of people, what they do is idol worship. And it's not talking about idol worship here. This is talking about bringing an ancestor, right, of the world into your sphere, okay, within. So it's like, it's not something outside of you or something to worship. It's like calling on a friend to come into your world to help you move this energy that's tough. Okay. That's how I would explain it. Okay. Now, this Durga energy. I love this energy. Okay. Anyway, what I thought was wonderful was I was doing these readings and oh, I didn't turn that outside light on. Okay. Now the suggestion was with Mars was bringing in the feminine divine energy. Okay, and so what I loved about this is that there's Mars in Cancer, and it's calling on you, okay, to bring in this. Oh, these look like eyes up here too. Feminine divine energy. Let me move this. Okay. All right. So okay, yeah. So, especially if you feel, right? Because over here it was like overcoming fear. Okay. So, that Durga energy would help with that if that's you. Now, it may be subconscious, and if things are looking funky in your world, that could be the thing popping up. Okay. And it could pop up anywhere in the universe. It doesn't have to just pop up right in your experience. That's the thing. Okay. As you kind of look into the world, your world, and then expand that to the outer, to the outer, to the outer, then you start to see more things. Okay. All right. Now, okay, so this energy is a very powerful protector and destroyer of evil. Okay, so if you felt like you've gotten into the trenches somewhere, right? Some sort of dark energy, doesn't have to be evil necessarily, but that's what it symbolizes. It symbolizes cutting through the shadow. Okay, even if it's your shadow, okay, your subconscious. Okay. All right, so again, Durga embodies that kind of feminine divine energy, which is the key to your success here. It's like if you're feeling really powerful and you're moving in this kind of masculine energy, it's calling on that feminine divine energy to balance things out because a Libra came out. Okay, so if you know a Libra, this might actually be a good time to hang out with a Libra too. Okay, now, what else did I want to say about that? Okay, so it's like the mother goddess energy. So it might be a good time to even hang out with someone you consider a mother goddess in the physical realm, a mother, or a strong feminine divine energy that has love and compassion. Okay, now, what my experience that it gave me was courage, right? And it it kind of gave me the feeling of how to devote my energy to others, the devotion energy. Okay. And so that was really nice. Okay. And she even sometimes, and I think it came up in another reading, I'm not sure. I think maybe that was the Aquarius with the lion head, but in in this Durga, sometimes she's shown in like pictures with like riding a lion or a tiger. Okay, tiger showed up in Aquarius. Okay, the tiger head. Okay, and all these things are the tools. Now, they consider them weapons, but I consider them tools. Okay, it's like a video game, right? You got caught up in someone's um, program and you got to cut through it to get out, that kind of thing. Okay, or video game where you have all these tools and you collect all these tools along the way, and at this point in your stage of the game of life, I feel like this is saying that these tools will help you get through breath work, um, and this divine feminine energy. Okay, so always moving, because see that Mars will help you feel like empowered. If you don't feel empowered, that means you need more rest. Okay, because this energy is supportive energy, so you'll feel like action, being more action oriented. Okay, all right, so let's see what else. Now, sometimes this energy I feel like could show up if you feel like you need to have some sort of walls around you, fortress, right? Okay, I'm not sure what that reference is, but that's what I feel like. It's like if you put up some sort of walls of protection, layers of it, then sometimes this uh, divine feminine energy that is within you can help you to navigate through that wall building and have power to go beyond the fortress. Okay. Oh, there's a song by Sting, right? What is that? All right. Anyway, let's see. Am I hitting everything? Oh, okay. The other thing is, let's see. Okay, the Nava Durga. Okay, and it's talking about 9 manifestations, and don't get me to even try to pronounce all those. But if I have time, I'll put it on there. I can probably, but sometimes, it's really weird. Sometimes these books, um, they do have misprints sometimes, and they don't have. Sometimes the punctuation is weird. But anyway, let me try to explain it in like layman's terms. Okay. All right, so Navadurga, right? It's like 9 manifestations. So I feel like the reason why Durga showed up is because you're trying to manifest, even multitask to manifest many things at once. Okay, that's like putting a bunch of different eggs in different baskets to hatch. Okay, and if you're doing that, you really need to do this. Okay, get back to the basics, breath work. Okay, and that will carry you, especially if you're speaking in public. Okay, and it will even help you have more eye contact. It once you work on the lungs to support your heart, your soul, and it'll help you with eye contact too better. Okay, now let's read this real quick before I get into the rest of that. No effort on the yoga path is ever lost, nor can any obstacle ever hold one back forever. Just a little progress on this path can protect one from greatest fear. Okay. And I feel like the fear here is losing a creation. Okay. Sometimes things fall away so that the other things can become stronger. Sometimes um, they all become um, the great manifestation, and that would require certain energy. And so that is why this is showing up here. Okay. What is this? Those whose minds are enchanted by sense enjoyment and material opulence never find the resolute determination to practice spiritual life. Oh, wow. Okay, so I see what that's saying. Okay, let's connect it to Pluto. If you are pulling in that polar opposite Capricorn energy or the Aquarius energy, okay, that was the Pluto lessons to help you achieve a higher energy so that you could bring in greater manifestations, because you've had, for whoever this story is, you've had manifestations, great ones, and this is like the next level. Okay, so it's like you had to purge that kind of sense gratification, right? So what does that look like? That could be like marriages that didn't work out. That could be like just being driven with the Sagittarius energy, since we're in Sagittarius moon is popping up here. Just being driven to always search for the thing and not knowing what that is. And for some, that could be like an obsession, like sex, or trying to achieve the white picket fence or whatever it is, right? Okay. Could even turn into like a car obsession, things like that. Okay. This is like bringing it back. So if you know people who love nature, let's say you have a brother or sister that loves nature, that loves the earth, is real earthy, that those, or even a water sign, they may help you with your emotions. Okay, so those are the kind of people you might want to hang out with when you get free time. Okay, like water or earth sign. Okay, that's what I'm getting. Okay, and I feel like if you're an office person and you spend a lot of time out indoors, it's asking you to, in your spare time, go outdoors. Okay, so recently, I don't know why it's coming up here. Was that your reading? There was like talk about roses. Okay, so it's like going outdoors um, to enjoy the roses or the park or whatever it is. Okay, now before I get into this other part, I feel like since we came into water, let me look into, where is that book? Okay, life lessons from the ocean. All right, let me get something from there. Okay, so see, look. How ironic is that? Look, see, this is like mountains, right? Volcano, looks like a volcano erupting, but it's the ocean. Okay, and this looks like Orion energy. Okay, so you might work in the government for someone, something like that. And this represents to me like red coral, the fire, the Mars energy. Okay, so it's like overcoming. Even this crab looks like he's trying to overcome something and hang on, right? Okay, so it says, and this Mars energy could have you going. Okay, so live life on the edge. A hydrothermal vent is a volcano like crack in the seafloor, giving out heated seawater and chemicals from molten rocks lying beneath. Okay, so do things that are soothing, like maybe a mud facial or um, a massage, listening to ocean sounds. Okay, life abounds in these places, but with a surprising twist. Rather than plant plankton and photosynthesis being the source of food for animals here, the bacteria make their energy using minerals and chemicals in the water in a process called chemosynthesis. Animals that are found nowhere else thrive here. And I feel like that's you thriving in an environment and overcoming and getting to a higher energetic level here. Okay. Including giant tube worms that host these bacteria in their body tissues. Ew, sounds gross. And, and species of crabs and shrimps that tolerate conditions here that are toxic to most sea creatures. Ooh, tolerate. That was a card from yesterday. Let me get that. And that was like moving from tolerate to more compassionate energy. Okay, conditions here that are toxic. Okay, so I feel like you may be even in an environment. You may be concerned about the environment or things that are going on in the outside. Okay, now let me see if I can find that card. Where are those? Let's see. Where are those? Where are those cards? Oh, here they are. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my god, there's so many. Shoot. Okay. Oh goodness. There's like just meditate while I'm doing this. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, meditate on Durga for a minute. Okay, I'll leave that there. Here it is. Oh my god. Okay. So when you meditate, you can even bring this image into your heart, but maybe not stone. I would just do it as a soft light. Okay. All right, now tolerance. This came up in someone's reading yesterday. Okay. And you know what? Sometimes I feel like spirit puts things in other people's readings because it may trigger them if it's in their reading. So that happens sometimes. I've seen that. Okay, now. All right, the temporary appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance over time are like the coming and going of winter and summer, or even like the ocean, right? Ebbs and flow. Okay. They arise from sense perception, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. And I feel like that is one of your lessons here, the tools. Okay, getting past that senses, right? Being tempted by physical appearances or physical things or you know, it could be sense or whatever it is. Okay, we're talking about the senses. And now, if you look at Indian spirituality, there's more than, the handful of senses that we're taught that we have. Okay, so I feel like tolerance, there's an energy higher than tolerance, and that is compassion and love and kindness. Okay, and that's what was coming up in someone else's reading. Okay, now let's talk about this Durga. Okay, put it right here if it'll fit. Okay, all right, let's talk about that. There's Nava Durga, and there are 9 manifestations. And I feel like this energy comes up when you're getting ready to manifest something huge. And you have to, it's kind of like when there are these lower basal energies, and they're like trying to grab at your ankles, right? And then you're just trying to cut away at that energy so that you could fly, right? Okay, so oh, that's interesting. Okay, so that image that we saw with the mountains, right? I have to go get my dog. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. She has a hard time getting up and down. She needs help. Okay. All right, so where was I? Shoot. Okay. Nava Durga. Okay, so the 9 manifestations. So a lot of times this one will show up. I think in my case it was to kind of get to the next phase, right? And in that, where was that? Okay. All right, so what's interesting is, okay, see that? Okay. The first one is like mountain conqueror. So it's like conquering that we could, if we're talking about astrology, that Pluto energy. And okay, so conquering, it could be just conquering your world. Okay. All right. So the first one is the mountain conqueror. Okay. So that's one, being able to overcome those challenges. Okay. Could be people even. Okay. And I feel like these are the tools that you need to get to the next phase. So it's like climbing that mountain. That could be the Capricorn energy, the polar, mastering the Capricorn energy or polar opposite energy. Okay. Penance and discipline. Okay, so that's like seeing where you might have gotten out of alignment and then making a course correction. Okay, for some. Okay, discipline is through sheer will, having the dedication and devotion to your creation and being able to do that every day. Okay. But taking a break, if you gauge your body, right? That's Atman too. It's like gauging your body and seeing if you need that extra rest to go the next mile or whatever, right? Okay. The next tool is radiance, right? The light in you and the peace within. So it's like that steady energy that you take wherever you go. The universal energy, it's like that expansive love energy for the all, right? Okay. And what spirit is bringing to you, even if it's that Plutonian dream. Okay. The next